always ask this first thing, whenever I meet someone. First of all, thank you so much. It's really I feel humbled to be able to sit in your presence and to be able to record this and share this. I don't know why always I ask this, but who are you?
I don't know. If you go to the depths of the depths, who are we? Is there an answer? No.
You always talk about this golden thread, and could you share what does it mean to you? What is that? We always all have.
There are different stories about this golden thread. One is that we have a kind of practice. This is called the golden thread, where we take each day 3 minutes to be really with the world, our whole world, and letting just the light of the heart shine to the world where there is need, where there is conflict or war. So that is called the golden thread practice. And we do that for 1 year, each day, out of free choice. Then the golden thread, sometimes I call it also the presence. Presence from moment to moment is in a way like in the weaving of the tapestry of your life, the one that goes through. In utter silence, in love for all that is, sometimes hidden. If you are getting more conscious, then it is from moment to moment present.
And how do we be present to love? We always think and they use the word love, but what does that mean to you in your journey? How have you discovered?
Love is something that has been with me since, I think consciously, I used the word the first time when I was 14 and when I read the poems of a mystic, and she wrote poems to Jesus, and it was really for her a love story. So that was the first time I somehow got connected to this mystical love, and I was very much inspired at that time. Then, of course, I got more mature as a young woman, and I started to fall in love with masculine partners, with men or young men, and I discovered to fall in love, which I really honestly enjoyed a lot, because it made the world so dancing, so light. It was a good feeling. It was like looking through a pink, how do we say, glasses? Everything was just bright and dancing and wonderful. And of course, I learned very fast that this falling in love is a state of grace in partnership that doesn't last forever. So, but I just somehow I liked that feeling of being in love. And later, I met my teacher, Mrs. Tweedie, and she said, "I'm always in love, but I don't know for what reason, with whom. I just feel like falling in love all the time, each moment." I thought, that's what I want. And she was, of course, a wonderful Sufi teacher, a mystic. And then I thought, because I learned the lesson already, that falling in love with men lasted only temporary, but she was in love all the time. So I wanted to learn that. And so I began to understand the different levels and the development of love. So when I talk sometimes about love, I say, we say, I love spaghetti. Okay, this love is as big as a plate, and it lasts maybe 20 minutes. And after that, where are the spaghettis? And what is your love about spaghettis? So it's very limited. It's big as a plate and it lasts 20 minutes. Okay, then we say we love, for example, our cat or our pet or so. It's already, when we look at it, takes more time, maybe 14 years. And where the cat strolls around or a dog, it's a bigger area. So it's already a little bit an enlarged kind of love. Then we say we love our partner or our partner lady. Oh, that might be something for the whole life. And of course, that is a big story. And then I sometimes ask the question, do you also mention each day, I love you, my dear one, my sweetheart? How often do we say that? And we Swiss and German people most of the time are quite quiet in this affair. We are mountain people, so not often this is really expressed, our love for the one that are nearest to us, our family, our children, our partner, our parents. And then also we learn that we go through a certain stage with this love, because first we fall in love and then we understand the projection we have in the other one. We take that back to us. Then C.G. Jung is talking about, we have a third level where we have to find a good, healthy, near-distance relationship so that each of us can develop according to your own innermost being. And the fourth stage is unlimited love. You just love without reason. So you see, in the partnership we go already in another dimension, what means love. And most of the time, this is not yet the love I'm really talking about that is really in presence, inherently in presence there. We say, for example, we love Switzerland, we love India, we love Europe, we love Christians, we love Muslims, we love black people, we love this and that, but that's still not yet unlimited. The love that is really what I talk about, you cannot even talk about. It's so sublime, it's so fine, you cannot even define it. It's without limit. It's beyond time and space, including everything that is. It is most inclusive and it is such a delight. I'm talking about this love that when you are in presence, there is in presence inherently, like a sun ray, a love for all that exists. And if we don't limit it, it really includes the whole universe. So that's the love I'm talking about.
How do we walk in that path of love?
How do we walk this path of love? Well, first of all, it's always there. It is. It's actually our innermost being is this dynamic of love. Every electron around the kernel of atom is held by love. It is like attracted by love. And as in plants, in animals, as a human being, we are constructed through different formulas of atoms. So every electron is in a way attracted through an inner pole of love everything is in its innermost being held by the dynamic of love. So we don't really have to do something because it is. We have just to remember who we are. And that is pure consciousness that loves all that is.
Yeah. Wow. There has been some practices, your personal practices, which allow
Yes.
you to create that awareness. Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
In one way it is of course no practice.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was not born just as a wise human being. And also getting older doesn't mean automatically to get a wise person. That we can observe. So yes, I did some practice, and I had my teacher, Mrs. Tweedie, a wonderful old lady, and she gave a very simple practice. One is to sit every day half an hour in silence and going into the feeling of love and losing yourself in the feeling of love. And then I had a mantra for the day. And so the whole praxis was 24 hours. Half an hour every day sitting, the rest of the time always silently doing a kind of mantra, which focused us in the presence, in the moment, till it fell off. At a certain time the mantra falls off and you are just presence. And we live amidst the world in a marketplace. And then she gave one more rule, which I think is quite interesting one. She said, if somebody from outside or something from inside bothers you, stings you, makes you insecure or angry more than 3 minutes, it's your problem. That means shadow work. That means clarifying projections, unconscious conditionings, and so on, to clear that out. So that's actually very simple, and I just did that.
Thank you. Yeah. You were mentioning about, just before we were having this conversation, and you mentioned about our unique self.
Yeah.
And so I would love to hear, and maybe same again if you'd like to share that again, and it also connects with your way forward, and and way forward for the humanity and for each one of us, so please do.
Yeah. Yes, there are several steps in a way without having steps, finally. I mean, it's all a concept to have steps. But yes, with the neti-neti principle, where you find out you are not this, you are not that, in a way, unfolds also your true self or your unique self. You somehow get to know your innerst unique gift that you have to bring into this world. It's a very natural process. Important is just that you don't want to be something specific. It's in a way going through the needle ear of being nobody, going nowhere. And from there, in a way, in a natural way, each person, each human being has a unique gift that is understood as the one, now not the perspective of the multitude, the perspective of the one, being incarnated or manifested in the multitude of each human being. Looking at that, he's being gifted in a unique person, expressing it, offering it back to the totality. So that is for me, in a way, the unique gift. Even in an evolutionary context. I think that nowadays many old souls are born have incarnated into the time being, because they have already a lot of inner knowledge, wisdom. And now the step is that it is manifested visibly. Actually, love and wisdom, the potentiality of a human being a godly being, to manifest that. And the unique self is the unique expression that makes, in a dance, in synchronicity with all that is, a symphony. In silence, in nothingness.
I know it's not really a question, but for a layman, how do you be in touch with that uniqueness? To be aware of that.
I think it's really a natural development when you start to be present in a moment, when you are giving space to the spaceless space between each thought, between each breath. It just comes out in a natural way. And you cannot force it. There is not personal will in it. You just go with the light of life. And there is like an evolutionary light of development also in a life of a human being that is self-organizing, self-correcting and self-renewing and bringing us to a next step, to even a deeper expression of that is unique in each human being. So how we do, I think there is nothing special to do than to be open, to let go of ideas and ideologies or imaginations. You just go with that specific perfume you are and let it really being given to the world.
That's beautiful. It's very rare we hear this because it's always so much layers, so much, what we have learned, and to be able to, be in touch with that. So thank you for sharing that.
I think really spirituality is the most natural thing. We are just discovering it. The time where humanity has developed, now mainly through the different stages of consciousness, is now going into this big shift from the concept of separation into unity. And I see that this as a natural process, because human being means that to be, and we are just on the way of growing. The human species is very new on this world. It's a young species, and we are still getting adult. So I think it is very natural. It's getting more easy for people also to realize consciousness from moment to moment, because more and more people are already having the taste of it. So we help each other because there is no separation.
Yeah, thank you. One more thing. We generally ask this. If there's one message, if you would like to give, although you shared that through, what you just said right now, or the essence of all your life's learning, and what would that you would like to say? That this is for sure, or this is you want to give to your great grandchildren, and then one thing.
I think I give it to you.
Yeah.
Love and do what you want. It is actually a saying from St. Augustine. It was also written at the wall at Mrs. Tweedie. And you know, to different people I would give different answers. But at that moment to you I would give this: love and do what you want. Because in love, you see, when you love everything that is, it adjusts in a way what you do and what you don't do. Because you are in the big flow and you understand that this is not really personal, it's personal, unpersonal. And you flow with the light of life. You are like a river. At the same time, you give yourself the freedom to do what you want. And it's of course a paradox, but it is great because it gives you all the possibilities and freedom in a way, the absolute freedom in a way that is always, always in the service of the whole. That's real freedom.
Thank you.
It will be a surprise. My favorite story is right now. You see, I sit here, you are vis-a-vis, it's like an old friend. We have sunshine outside, we have spring, a lot of flowers blooming, the wind is moving the leaves, the blue sky, the clouds. This moment, just to be here and see the fullness, what is given to us on each level. We have a floor that holds our chair. We had some tea and nice biscuits. We have company on a human being level, being friends. And we talk about that, what our heart is singing in silence all the time. We can share that. Is there a better story than just that one?
Thank you. Yeah, there couldn't be no other better story.
And it's a simple one.
Yeah.
There is a simplicity in it. And I think each human being can experience that. This simplicity, this joy, this fullness, this abundance of the moment. A dance really in nothingness. Wow, that's the best story. We live right now, here.
I feel immensely grateful.
I thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has something to do with you, you know.
Yeah.
Also that I speak like that.
Yeah.
Because first of all, in front of camera I normally cannot speak.
Yeah.
And also the level of what comes out has a lot to do with your presence. There's a resonance, so you know it comes out according to the resonance.
Yeah.
So I have to thank you, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel these are the gifts, you know, which we share with others, you know, and I think, yeah, through stories, and stories have been such a important part of our consciousness, of our heritage, And each one, sometimes I used to think, like, why do we need, there already is so much. No, but as you said, in that moment, it's for the next person, and I think that's what connects also the humanity as a whole. Even if this like authentic,
it starts to be a celebration to live on earth. That's different than, to come here to work out your karma, for example. Or, that you are born with this sin, as we have in the Catholic Church, for example. It's more, I think, a conscious matter in future, probably, that we don't go, when we are born, into such separation as we used to. Then that we understand more prior unity of all, and don't have to suffer so much and make others suffer so much. Mother Earth, the animals, human beings. We are getting slowly more mature as a human species, hopefully.
I would have loved to know more about your dream, because after living this full life, I admire your this sincere, exploration to, like start from, like again new, rebuild, rebirth. It's just beautiful, Annette, and it's really beautiful. It's very rare also.
It's very interesting, because spirit, of course, is always young. It has no age. It's not even young, it is. And the more it is let free, the more you feel energized, of course. You have more possibilities, in a way, also to master energies. And also I'm learning still. There's another part. I mean, each day I learn, and I continue to learn, and I'm just so happy to be alive, to be here on this beautiful earth. I know around the sorrow, I know, about the suffering in this world, and I was working, of course, many years also in the third world to help to stop the suffering from more outer kind of help. But going to the ground, the suffering is really caused by the, the people that are not yet conscious, by unconsciousness. So that is very important, that we understand who we really are. And then really, it's not then, it's actually both together in a dynamic. You start to live according to the big flow of the universe, of the cosmos. And that is always inherently in harmony with all that is.
It reminds me of like how what you just said about fixing, helping, and serving. So when we see things as broken, we try to fix them. When we see things as weak, we try to help. But when we see things as whole, we try to serve. And serving is by being our most unique self. And that becomes a very natural way of, of being wherever we are, and we don't try to go and fix and help.
Yes, thank you. That's a good definition somehow. That's right.
Because that's what I keep reminding myself. We often get carried away and thinking about this is broken, this person, this needs help, and then we try to help, you know. It's like monkey trying to save a fish from drowning.
Yeah. And also, you know, it's how you look at the world, you create the world.
Yes, you create the world.
Mm-hmm. So if we see, in a way, the beauty in it, we create beauty also. I mean, that's a law, I think, to understand. Because, you know, there were some Tibetans that they said, you can also stop if you want.
No, it's great. If it's okay with you.
You know, they said, for example, Emaho, I see the holy land, I see the beautiful land. And I always say, why do they say that? And then I understood, because you can really look, you know, when sometimes we have in everyday's condition also waves. Yeah. It's not always brilliant, you know, or well. And in certain moods, I could observe that I projected the moods outside, and then the world is more gray. And I create it also then that way. And when I'm really present and I'm just looking and seeing a leaf or now I just see a butterfly, you know, and you see the beauty or your eyes or your heart of human beings, and then you create that becomes reality, you know. And we learn, I think, nowadays, like the new laws, how as co-creator manifest, you know, this world, because this world, the way we see it, is a construct that we consciously, unconsciously create. And how we create that and the way we can really change that is now the learning process of many of us. And it also goes over, in a way, traditional spiritual paths. It's like reconnecting with very, very ancient wisdom and knowledge that comes now again to us. And we have to integrate it in this stream of love and light, so that it is flowing consciously as a next evolutionary step into manifestation. We are also, part of us is creative. We are creator and created at the same time, which is a double role. And in a way, through our consciousness, creation gets recognized. So to understand all this now is a next step in development of humanity. And it is very, how do I say? I don't find the English word right now. Exciting. It is so exciting to live right now, to explore all this potentiality of a human being. It is, that makes me young.
It is really exciting. Because it's like, you get a sense, you know, I always think of like you see the light, and now it's difficult to close your eyes and say there's a darkness everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, we feel that, and I deep down, that's my highest longing, you know. Because in moments I've seen in each other's eyes that, you know, that oneness, I just feel like I've seen a glimpse of it.
Yeah, of course.
And now whenever I meet anyone, it's this heart is that longing to, you know, feel that unity again.
Yeah.
And it says, how can I, you know, serve you? How can I be of... And not even serve you, because then there's a duality. Yes?
No.
Yeah.
It is really the big flow.
Big flow, yes.
Yeah, it is the flow for totality. For the good of all. Yeah. It's not anymore personal, you know. In presence also the relationships are changing. Because we have a very interesting word in German. It's called Beziehung. And Beziehung means that you have two points have to get into relate. And in presence, there is no relating in that level, because the heart is one. So you have all these, difficult processes between two people relating is transcended in a way, and is held in a bigger dimension and can still, dance. But it is, how do I say, you feel much more secure as a human being because you are all. There is no relation. I don't have to relate to you. It is already there. It's all one, not two. That's very interesting.
The wind, because there's a movement, there's a life.
Yeah, right.
And, and it enters you and changes you. It just, you're not the same. And,
right. And also it's a natural element, the wind. Huh?
Yeah.
It's not the golden pyramid. It's the golden wind. Yeah.
And it's constant co-creation, because, our breath, your breath, what we give out is, it takes it becomes parts of it, and then it's constantly co-creating, constantly emerging and evolving, and changing, and yet the same, and uniting us. It's the presence without even wanting to do that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Golden wind. Yeah. And there's a dance. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's growing in me too.
Yeah, I think it's really. It was interesting because, we had this excellent workshop. Somebody knew to find a new name. And what was very beautiful was that we were all together. We were about 5, 6, 7 people, the main people that are really also carrying that. And I like also that we tried together to find a name. Not me or somebody else, that's beautiful. And then somehow, we found words and this and mentioned it. And in the night, suddenly, the day or 2, 3 days later, suddenly in the night, because I had another favorite one, it came, like the golden wind came in the night. And I understood, there is like in the hurricane, you have the eye in the middle that is absolute still, and you have the dynamic. And I saw, because Mrs. Tweedie has, the golden color has to do with the path. I was able to go with Mrs. Tweedie, so the golden color is there, and the movement, and it is not outspoken, but all is there. It is, in a way it's like a perfume,
Fragrance.
A fragrance, right. And I like that, It is there and it's not there. And it's like the world, it's there and it's not there. It's like all, it's there and it's not there. It's both.
And it's like that, what you said, it's even if you take it out, it's still there, in totality. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnamada, Madachyate, Purnamavavai, Vishishyate. It's one of the most first and ancient mantra.
Really?
In the Rig Veda.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
wow.
essays. I'll give you the exactly.
That would be
beautiful translation.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Yeah.
And that's what it means. From the totality.
Yeah.
Comes what's the total. And even if you take it out, yet it remains whole.
Yeah, exactly.
And what comes out is also whole.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. Actually, that's really heaven on earth, how we have to understand being born on earth. It is really holy. Everything is holy. Yeah. Heaven on earth, the totality.
And what a joy to be able to live that and to be able to do that.
That's grace.
Co-create that,
That's pure grace. Yeah.
No, I was searching for it deeply, and I was there in the ashram. It's beautiful, and I learned a lot. I learned about love. I learned about, and there's still a lot, we co-create. But there's something new was being to, and I felt like this cannot be born in the older, in the forms. It's beautiful to honor that and to see the roots. But what you said really embrace and transcend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that stuck with me. And
yeah. Yeah. Because you honor always what you have learned, and the roots of your own tree. And at the same time you grow further. And it is holographic in that sense as it transcends and embraces everything. Yeah.
But I've also seen, and we meet, although it's difficult to box it, but a lot of times, and for the consciousness, because everybody has his own growth and grows when it times comes to blossom. But if you see in India, or so much spirituality in different ways,
yes.
And yet it just feels so impermanence, because we get it's just like being inspired, and you begin inspired, and then again you lost. It's not like we do not adopt it. We do not make it as a way of life, and so you might be inspired for that one moment, for 1 hour or 1 day, and just come back, and as if like you lose that consciousness again, lose that awareness again of that. And that's why I like what you said, because it allows us to see our spiritual nature, which is. And,
absolutely.
We keep looking for this outside form and some
theories,
and that's why we keep struggling with it. It's something outside of us, which we are trying to imbibe in us. And that's always a struggle. And then we feel bad if you're not able to do that. Then the morals come, and then all these.
Oh yes, I understand very well, because I was struggling also with all this kind of, maybe not in India, but in our system. In our spiritual system, we had also, certain things like that. And I also had to, in a way, to embrace and go further in it. And I don't call myself anymore a Sufi teacher, which was a big, big step. And I'm more now rooted in universal spirituality. And still, I have really the blessings of Mrs. Tweedie and Baisab, because it is a natural development, an evolutionary step we have to go. And I always, after I made the step, I only got the blessings. And I had to really to go through it, which was very difficult, because you want to be absolutely truthful, and respect also the traditions, and that's not so easy. But I know it's right, because I just, I go with my with my most inner being, and I envision quite clearly where humanity and the world is going. And I just know that it will be like that if humanity awakes to its true nature. It's all there. It still takes some time. Yeah, that's interesting that you land here, huh?